When it comes to tennis trading, one of the biggest challenges is knowing when to enter and when to stay out of a trade. In-play markets move fast and making the wrong call can be costly. That's why in-play analysis is crucial. It helps you spot high probability opportunities while avoiding risky trades. Now in this video, we'll break down the importance of first set stats and how they can guide your trading decisions. Now the first set gives you key insights into momentum shifts, player form, and potential patterns that traders can exploit. For example, is a favourite struggling on the serve? Is the underdog building confidence? These factors shape the second set market and can be the difference between a profitable trade and a bad decision. So, the question is, to trade or not to trade? Now let's dive in to the matches that went on at the Buenos Aires ATP on Tuesday, the 11th of Feb. Now, first off, I will add that there are a number of low-ranked players at this tournament, and you must exercise more caution when trading players above a ranking of, say, 80. So, that's your first takeaway from this video. Okay, so we're going to go through the matches played on Tuesday. So the first one is Muller versus Djere. So first off, the pricing, I didn't trade this one. If I had traded, bearing in mind Djere started the price at 1.57, we'd have been looking for him to drop the first set. You potentially look at trading Muller if he had a very strong first set as the first set loser. He lost the first set, so let's see how he lost that first set, see whether I would have potentially entered into a trade back in Muller in the second set. So we've got one break, so 2 breaks on serve, which on their own are not major alarm bells. We've got one decent service hold there, another service hold there, so three fair service holds, so that's not too bad at all. Over at the stats, let's have a look here. 62% of first serve percentage, which is higher than Djere's. First service points 1. Now this is a major stat here from Djere. He's only hitting 50% in, but he's winning at 92%, and that is quite a cracking stat there. But of course, that 50% is a bit low, but of course, it's Muller that we're really interested in. Now, fair service stats, nothing alarming there. 2 out of 4 break points is a good stat, as it shows resilience. But 43% of first set points is not an alarm bell, it's above our 40% threshold. So, would you have traded him in the second set, or would I have traded him in the second set? Without actually watching how this match played out, probably not, and this is mainly due to the pricing. You know, Djere was the strong favourite at 1.57. You've really got to have outstanding first set stats to give you the confidence to back the underdog in the second set. Now let's see what happened in this second set. So Djere served first, so would have traded off and locked in some profit on that first service game. And then Muller was then broken on the second service game. Could have potentially looked at recouping some of this early loss, but the chances are with the pricing, with Djere starting at 1.57, there wouldn't have been much price movement there, and this would have been a bit of a damp squib of a trading match. So that's the first one. So you can see why it's important to bear in mind the starting prices and the importance of these first set stats. Okay, so the second one, Diaz Acosta, ranked 75 versus Seyboth Wild. Now very close in the rankings. However, Diaz Acosta was 1.67. So again, ideally, I would have been looking to enter into this. Probability would be on your side. If he dropped the first set, he'd won it. So of course, we'd have to look for reasonable stats on Seyboth Wild to give you confidence in backing him in the second set. Let's first off have a look how Diaz Acosta won this first set. So okay, it was just on the one break. And Seyboth Wild had 1, 2, 3 strong service games. He didn't go to love 30 at all, he went to love 15 there. So yeah, 3 strong service games, so that's absolutely fine on the points 1. On the stats, 64% of first serves going in, which is a good stat, and he won 71% of these, 50% of the second serves. Service points, so yeah, that's good. 1 ace, 1 double fault, that's absolutely fine. Total points 1, 43%. It's a bit low, we want to get as close to 50 as possible. But given these service stats and the way he won the way he held his 3 service holds, that will look pretty positive. So yes, I would have looked again. I didn't trade this. This is purely retrospective, looking at would I have traded it, what would I have done, and looking at these this first set analysis. So yeah, I would have gone ahead. That would have given me the green light to go ahead with a trade here, backing Seyboth Wild. So with the early break and then the break back, I would have then re-entered, and yeah, that would have been a pretty straightforward trading match. You would have had the early break, but of course it was a break back. You were never a break down. So this would have been a successful trading match and a nice bit of profit here. I'm not going to go through exactly how I trade. For those of you who have taken my course, you'll know exactly how I would have traded this. This is not a monkey see, monkey do. If I start explaining little bits without giving the full detail, you're going to go out there and you're going to lose money. You need to know the full picture of exactly how I trade, how I lay off liability, how I lock in profit, when I enter, when I exit. There's a lot to it rather than a set strategy. I know I get a lot of questions asking about the strategies. My easiest answer is take the course and you'll find out. And by all means, ask questions for other members on here to answer in terms of whether the strategies are effective or not. Okay, so that was the Diaz Acosta match. Then we've got Navone versus Comesana. So first off, the starting price. So again here, you got a very strong favourite here at 1.40. So I would have had to see very strong first set stats from the first set loser, Comesana, to give me a little bit, well, any confidence in backing him in the second set. So first of all, let's go at the points, how the first set points are won. 2 breaks, not a very straightforward first service game there. A fair service game on there. So 3 fair service games. There was 1 break on Navone's serve again. You've got to bear in mind, Navone is the strong favourite here. So let's go over and take a look at the stats. So the stats we're interested in are obviously Comesana. We want to have confidence. We want to see very strong stats from him to give us confidence to enter into trade in the second set, backing him. So nothing outstanding here. 57%, it's fine, but not outstanding. 53% of these won. The first serves 1. 38%, a bit on the low side from the second service points 1. He saved 1 out of 3 of break points. 33%. It's not the greatest stat. If he'd saved all 3, then that would have shown a bit of positivity in terms of resistance. But of course, you've also got to bear in mind that if the player is racking up 3 break points, even if they hold these, you've got to bear that in mind. Total points won, 43%. Again, at the lower end of the scale, you want to see it as close to 50 as possible. So given the fact that Navone started the match at 1.40, these stats are not strong enough to warrant entering into trade in the second set. And let's go over and see what happened in this second set. So, first service game. So you could have locked in a bit of profit there. You've got to bear in mind that the price movement, if a player starts at 1.40 and you're backing the outsider, the price movement is going to be quite small. He then lost his second serve, and potentially you could have recouped a little bit of profit here, but it's unlikely because of that smaller price movement. He's a breakdown. There's going to be very little price movement. Try to recoup that, and the risk versus reward ratio is just not balanced. So again, the in-play analysis has signalled the correct decision not to enter into a trade here. So that's a Navone match. So the Gaston was cancelled. Then we got Baez and Carabelli. So the Baez Carabelli match. Again, starting price was 1.40. I think we can see here this is going to be pretty much mirroring the previous one. So again, if you drop the first set, Baez, then of course I'll be looking to back him as a drifting favourite in the second. He's won it, so I would have to see very, very strong stats from Carabelli to have given me confidence to back him in the second set. Excuse me. So let's have a look how this first set played out. So it was 2 breaks on Carabelli's side versus 1 break from Baez. And then he had one strong service game, 1 dodgy service game with a break point, and another one with a break point, and then the final one losing the serve. So without even looking at the stats, these are major alarm bells to me, and I would no way have entered a trade on Carabelli. Let's just go over and have a look at the stats to see if that would have confirmed it any further. Okay, so straight away, look at that, 5 double faults. If the way the points had been won hadn't put me off trading, that would. That's the major alarm bell right there. Total points won. Interestingly, it's still 47%. Of course, we had the break on Bez's first service game, which obviously meant that was quite close. However, there were major alarm bells there, so this definitely would have been a no trade for me. Now, let's have a look what happened in this second set. So actually you had 1, 2, 3, you had 4 service games, so potentially you could have locked in a bit of profit, and you most probably would, well, I would have exited there, so I would have come away with a little bit of profit here. However, you've got to remember, again, with a starting price of 1.40, you're going to get very, very little price movement, and so you're locking in small amounts of profit for potentially a huge amount of your trade being wiped out if your player, in this case, which was Carabelli, was broken. So you've got to always bear in mind that pricing. If you are backing a real underdog, you're just not going to get much price movement unless you get that break. And a break against you is going to be pretty catastrophic. Okay, so a match that I did trade, which was the Burruchaga versus Cerundolo. Now, as you see, the starting prices were pretty close to evens here. We've got 1.80 and 2.0. So, first off, in the point to point. So, essentially, I'll be looking for a strategy 1. I was looking for a strategy 1 hands-on approach, no matter who won the opening set. As you can see, there was 1 break from each player, with Cerundolo taking it in the second set. So, during the match, I looked at Burruchaga's other service games. So, aside from the first break, he had a decent service game there, take it to 2-1. Bit of a dodgy one there at 3-2, but he came back and actually saved 1, 2, 3 break points. Much more confident at 4-3. At 5-4, again, 2 more break points, which obviously was to take into consideration here, and obviously would make me a little bit more cautious. And then he had another fair service game at taking it to 6-5. It didn't do too badly in the tiebreak. So over in the stats, we've got 59% versus 61% of first serves going in, 58% of them being won, a very strong second service points won stat, 65%. Break points saved. Now, like I said earlier in the video, now this is a really good stat in terms of showing resilience. However, you've got to bear in mind that if the player keeps going to break points, you don't want to be trading a player that keeps having break points. However, if they are winning these break points, then that kind of offsets it. And 83%, 5 out of 6 break points saved is a very good stat, which gives you confidence to back the player in the second set. Total points won, 46%. Now that's well within our range, well over 40. You want to be as close to 50% as possible. So I did trade this match, and those stats gave me confidence to back him in the second set. Again, I must add, like I said at the beginning, look at the rankings of these players, 141, 139. So you've got to always bear this in mind and exercise with caution with the trades. So a lot of my trades are a bit more cautious than they would be in normal ATP matches with players sort of with a sub 80 ranking. So I was backing Burruchaga in the second set, and let's see how this played out. So it wasn't plain sailing. Cerundolo served first. I then entered on Burruchaga's first service game. went into the red, and then re-entered at love 3 to recoup a bit of this. The reason you're recouping here, because the pricing is closer together, you're getting much more price movement than you would have if you were the real outsider playing against a strong favourite. So a couple of service holds there to lock in a bit of profit. I left some money in the market, and then we had the break. So we jumped on the break, and then we got the late break as well to take the nice bit of profit and a nice swing. So this was a fair trading match, not that straightforward because I went into the red first of all. However, the first set stats say this is not fully bulletproof like I've said in my other videos, but they give you the edge, and the whole point in trading is it gives you the edge. You've got a decent strategy. You need to know when to execute this strategy. If you're just executing them willy-nilly, I can pretty much guarantee you're going to lose money. So that's for those matches at the Buenos Aires ATP. I will be running a few of these because I know you find them useful. If you're skipping these sort of videos and you're not really taking them seriously, I'm sorry, you're not going to become a decent, profitable trader. You really have to pay attention on in-play stats. As I said before, having a workable strategy is obviously essential, but without in-play analysis, it's essentially worthless. Now, the best trading plan in the world won't help you if you're entering the market at the wrong time. Got to remember, tennis matches are unpredictable. Momentum swings, player mindset, and fatigue all play a role in shaping the odds. You've got to know, the pricing movements. There's so much to it. That's why knowing when to pull the trigger on a trade and when to stay out is just as important as the strategy itself. In fact, you could argue more important. Now, as I said earlier, in-play analysis gives you the edge, helping you separate high-quality trades from unnecessary risks. Now, if you're not watching and adapting to what's happening on the court, you are simply just gambling and not trading. Now, I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. And if you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button. So I'll be running a few of these. And don't forget, every Saturday or Sunday, I'll be releasing my new series, Inside the Lines, which gives you the week's top highlights of what's going on, and a week looking ahead at the week ahead with what matches and tournaments I'll be trading. So I'll see you there. Now, if you found this video useful, please do check out my YouTube channel, Pro Tennis Trader, where I've got loads of tennis trading content, including live trading, in-play analysis, and loads of extra bits and bobs to do with tennis trading, including my latest new series, Inside the Lines, which provides you with the week's top highlights in tennis and a look at the week ahead. And if you'd like to start your journey into the world of tennis trading, then you can sign up for my free video course at protennistrader.com, where you can also claim your free ebook, The Ultimate Guide to Getting Started. I'll see you there.